Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lindsay and today I'm talking all about my favorite drugstore affordable makeup product. I just gathered up everything I love from the drugstore to share with you guys. So before we get started in today's video, if you're not already subscribed, I'd love to have you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy drugstore makeup, and let's try to get this to 300 likes. So hit that like button, but let's go ahead and get started on my drugstore favorites. The first product I want to talk about is a new product from Catrice Cosmetics. This is their Clean ID Hydro BB Cream. Not all Catrice claims to be clean, but this product specifically is 99% natural ingredients and it's also vegan. So this says that it's an ultra hydrating tinted beauty balm with shea butter for radiant natural complexion. I would say that this is really like a traditional BB cream feel. I've tried a lot of other like tinted BB creams that tend to have more coverage than what I would think of as just a BB cream. It's really just a tinted moisturizer, even like less coverage, I feel like. So this is the shade Medium Warm, which looks pretty dark, but I find this to be super sheer. So when you blend it out, it really is just a tint on the skin. I think it does a good job at blending into your skin tone. The shade range in this is also pretty bad. It doesn't go very deep. And they also don't have a ton of different undertones. They only have like it's really weird. Like they only have like warm for medium, and then light has neutral, but a deep doesn't have a neutral. I don't know exactly, but it's weird like that. So it might be a little bit difficult to find a shade, but for me, I still wanted to mention this because it is so sheer. Like even this, looking at it next to my skin, I thought it was gonna be too dark, but it really is blends into your skin. There's barely any pigment within this, really just to blur your skin, make it look nice and smooth. I love the finish of this. It's not dewy, it's sort of just like this very smooth satin finish that goes great under other products. Really great if you're running out the door and you just want like a tiny bit of evenness and a tiny bit of coverage. It's not going to give you too much, which is, I don't expect it to because it's the BB cream. So that's a really interesting product from Catrice I wanted to mention. This product you can get at most drugstores and at Target. It's the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk. This product for my skin I don't particularly love. I don't wear it a lot, but I did still want to mention it because I think for certain skin types it's a really great option. So this is more of like a medium lighter coverage. You can build it up. It makes your skin look beautiful, more on the glowy side. It does have coconut oil in it, which also my skin doesn't love, so I don't use this a lot, as I mentioned. If you have drier skin, you don't have a problem with coconut oil, like a more glowy, medium lighter finish, this is like a beautiful everyday foundation. So I'm going to be mentioning some more conventional products today as well. My first one is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. This you can get at Ulta. It's affordable, and I think they're also coming to Target. They kind of like hinted at that, which is really cool. This foundation is so beautiful. I have this on my skin now. It's the perfect combination of it's hydrating but not too dewy. It has a great amount of medium coverage that can be built up or sheared out depending on what you really want for it. So versatile. I think the shades are really nice. Like this one matches me well. And I just love this product. It doesn't irritate my skin. I don't find it has too much of a scent either. So if you take a look at the ingredients and this is something you'd want to try, I would totally recommend it. The wear is also incredible. Even wearing a mask, it doesn't break up a lot. It doesn't get too oily. It just lasts on the skin and looks beautiful all day. So this has become like one of my favorite products recently, and I can't wait to continue using it. I forgot the shades of these. So this shade is Fair Light, and then the shade of the ColourPop is Light 50W. This one doesn't match me that well, but the ColourPop one is a really good match. Now the last foundation is the Sephora S Clean Glowing Skin Foundation. Again, one you can't buy at the drugstore, but if you go into Sephora as frequently as a drugstore, you could get this. This is so good. I absolutely love this. This is the shade number 7. This is sort of like a dupe for the CoverGirl one, but it doesn't have the coconut oil in it, and I like it a lot better. Very light and has more coverage than the CoverGirl one. Medium lighter, can be built up, but I feel like you can't build it up all the way to full coverage. It kind of stops at that medium point, but the finish is so pretty. It doesn't get super oily throughout the day. It does get glowy, so if you have oily skin, I would not recommend this, but if you have combo skin, dry skin, normal skin, I think you could make this work for you. I have combo skin. I just make sure that I'm powdered, or I specifically wear this on days I know I'm not going to be like doing anything too strenuous or wearing my makeup for a crazy amount of time, but I love this stuff, and I think it's such such a hit. I'm like really glad I decided to pick this up. 3 concealers I have to mention here today. First is a more conventional brand. This is e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I also really love the original camo. Depends on what you're going for. This one's a little bit more hydrating, but because of that, I feel like it does sink into lines a tiny bit more just on my skin. Whereas the camo one is very similar to Tarte Shape Tape. Like, that's a heavy duty concealer. If you have oily skin, I would go with that one. It's really just like stuck on your face. These both last a really long time though, and I use the shade Fair Warm for this. Super affordable product that you can just pick up at Target. I'm super picky with concealers, and this is actually like one of my favorites. If I'm not talking about like high-end, like drugstore wise, this stuff is good. Even with high-end, like this is a real concealer competitor in my collection. Next is one that's newer to me, the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Hydrating Concealer. This they just launched like new stuff. Originally it was just this, the highlighter and the blush, and they launched a concealer, a powder, and a concealer, powder, and a mascara. That's what I was trying to say. This is the shade 310 Porcelain. This is a more lightweight concealer, more light coverage. It's not really like super fantastic if you want full coverage. I feel like it takes some layering, but I do like to use this as a layering product or on my face if I just want to like boost up the coverage. This is the perfect product. Super thin and lightweight, and it is hydrating. So if you have drier skin, I think you'd really enjoy this one. The wand on this is pretty firm, so it can be like a little bit like harsh on your under eyes, which sucks, but formula wise it is nice. You can kind of tell when I'm swatching it, it's on the more sheer side, but good option if you like a lighter concealer. And the last concealer is another ColourPop product. This is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. I use the shade Fair 05W. This one has a really nice doe foot. It's one that's flat on both sides, and it sort of picks up a lot of product, which I like. Oh yeah, you can tell just how much more product and pigment is in this compared to the CoverGirl one. I have this under my eyes today. One of my favorite concealers that I tried recently that has just really surprised me. This is a really fantastic fuller coverage concealer. You can use this on blemishes under the eyes. I feel like it looks so good under the eyes. It does not sink in. It isn't too oily where it creases. It's just perfect. Really great wear on this. I'm just so impressed with like the ColourPop Pretty Fresh line. These were my first products from that line, and really excited about them. Moving on to powders, a more conventional brand is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. So the ingredients in this, if you're fine using silicone and talc, ingredients in this are literally just talc, silicone, and silica, and then just some iron oxide. So actually very simple. I don't mind these products on my skin. They don't irritate them. I have the shade 05, which is very light. This is like my brightening powder. Because this is tinted, it can be a little bit heavier, so I personally don't like to bake with this. I use a very thin layer just to highlight my face. But if you don't struggle with a lot of texture, I think you could probably bake with this and get away with it. It is a pretty pigmented, finely milled powder. It's not too pigmented though, where it like looks like a powder foundation. It's kind of just that perfect, it's a tinted powder that will brighten your face, or if you want to get like a deeper one for bronzer. Really nice little powder. If I was like didn't have a powder and was going into the drugstore, I'd probably get this one for under my eyes. And the second powder I have is another product from CoverGirl, the Clean Fresh. This is the pressed powder. I have the shade 120 Fair. So this is, it has more of a tint to it. It's not a completely translucent powder. It kind of disappeared on my hand, but because of that, I feel like it can look a little bit cakey and not the best on texture, but it's still, I feel like, a really good option because if I use the correct amount of this, it looks beautiful. So that's like my one thing with this is don't use a lot of it, and I think it's a really nice just setting your face powder. I would not use this under my eyes. I just feel like it's too much, but to lightly set my face, I do grab this one a lot. All right, on to complexion product. I have a powder blush here from Found Beauty, the Baked Illuminating Blush. This is exclusive to Walmart, I believe. You can get it online as well. This is the shade Peach Glow. This is literally a dupe for the Antonym highlighting blush that's like super pricey. It's a very beautiful blush, not even just for the price in general. It does have a lot of pearl in it, so it's gonna be more just glowy on the cheek. So pretty. Like, I can't believe this is that good for the price. They have a couple other shades. It kind of reminds me of like Hourglass blushes as well. It's just a little bit more highlighty. If you have like deeper skin, you could definitely use one of these. Medium deeper skin, you could definitely use one of these as a highlight. They're like that glowy and shimmery. but super pretty blush. And then my favorite liquid blush at the drugstore is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Cream Blush. Another CoverGirl product. This is the shade Sweet Innocent. So these are a liquid blush that do have a sheen to them, which looks a little bit weird when you first apply it, but if you use a sheer coat of this and really blend it out, it's just so pretty and natural and not too dewy. It does like sort of set down a little bit and give you great longevity. They have a couple other shades. I definitely need to pick them up. This one's sort of just like your true pink. You can build it up as well. It's pigmented enough, or if you were to need to keep layering it, you could definitely do that. And it also works over powder, which is like such a must for me for a cream or liquid product. So really enjoy this. Alrighty, for eyes, I have only 3 products here because I feel like there's not a ton at the drugstore that I really love. I just haven't tried a lot either. But my first is going to be eyeshadow. If I didn't have eyeshadow and I was going in the drugstore or Target, I would pick up the e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadows. This is the one Pumpkin Pie, which is just classic warm tones. You can really get a whole eye look out of this sucker, and I'm pretty sure they're $3. Most of them have 2 mattes and 2 shimmers. I do have a swatch video of the majority of these that they offer. I will link it in the info card up there. But for being such an affordable eyeshadow, they are a pretty good formula. They're not the most pigmented, but they can be built up. They don't get patchy, just so nice, and the price, can't beat it. And my brow pick is another product from e.l.f. This is their Wow Brow, which to me I feel like is a good dupe for the Glossier Boy Brow. It's a little bit different. It actually has some like fibers in it, so when you put it on your brows, it makes them look fuller and it does set them down. It can be a little bit much, so you have to be light-handed with it, and I have the shade Taupe. This is actually a great blonde shade. I love when brow products have a taupe shade because usually the blondes tend to be like really warm and just look a little bit off on me. This one is perfect. Also, I'm pretty sure this is like very affordable. And then if I had to pick a mascara, I would pick the Honest Beauty one, although I do have like a few critiques about this. This is a deeply pigmented mascara. It looks pretty on the eyes. It's not super dramatic, but it can really be built up. I think it's a great everyday mascara. It does smudge a little bit on me, which if it didn't, I would say this is amazing for the drugstore. Definitely pick it up. It really depends on if you experience a lot of smudging, like if you wear a lot of concealer under your eyes. I also don't feel like the primer really does anything, so I don't know, don't love that, but it's a pretty decent mascara. Like if I didn't have one, I would probably just start with this one. Moving on to lips, I have a tinted balm, liquid lipsticks, and a couple glosses. The first balm is the Honest Beauty. These are their tinted lip balms. Such a classic for me. I've been using these forever. They're just a really great sheer tinted balm that have like this juiciness to them, and they're not oily, so they don't slip off the lips. They have a pretty good amount of wear time, and they don't accentuate dry skin either. This is the shade Blood Orange. It looks pretty pigmented, but it actually applies sheerly, and you can actually build it up to get a pretty good amount of color. And then also from Honest Beauty, my lipstick pick would be the Honest Beauty liquid lipsticks. I love BFF, and also their red, which is called Love, is so pretty. It's a blue toned red. This is more of like a taupey nude. They also have more of a pink one. This one is just so pretty. I love it all year round. And lastly, for lip gloss, I just recently picked this up and wasn't expecting it to be this good, but so good. This is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. These are their new lip glosses. This has hyaluronic acid in it, and this is the shade 03 Moon, which I have on my lips today. These are freaking stunning. The applicator is nice and big. It picks up a really good amount of product, and there's the shade on my hand. It has a little bit of a shimmer through it. It's this perfect rosy pink that doesn't lean too pink or too brown. They have a bunch of other shades too that look stunning. So when you first apply this, it does give you a little bit of a tingling sensation, and they have a light, like sweet sort of vanilla-y scent, I guess. It does dissipate after a while. I really only notice it when I first apply it, and the tingling goes away as well. These just offer such a good opacity on your lips. Like I love the amount of color in this, because sometimes with a gloss that's too sheer, I feel like I just need more on my lips if I'm just wearing a gloss specifically. It has been living in my bag, and I really enjoy it. If you guys have tried these, let me know what you think of them, because I'm obsessed. And then my last gloss is sort of like a dupe for the Maybelline one. Not really as good, but it's a similar vibe. This is the Pixie Honey Sheen. I think these are called their lip icings. These ones have a little bit more of a stickiness to them as opposed to the Maybelline one, which are really creamy. They don't really have a stickiness at all. That's the Honey Sheen shade. I also have like a deeper mauve one of this that's so pretty. This one does have a shimmer in it. It has more of a pepperminty, minty cooling sensation, whereas this one doesn't have that. It kind of just has the tingle, but it gives you a really super glossy finish that does stay on the lips for a good amount of time, layers well, and I think it's just a good solid lip gloss pick from the drugstore. Alright guys, that was it for my drugstore favorites. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy at any point. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite product from the drugstore is. I would love to know your affordable recommendations. Drop them below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.